Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed coming at you with day 13 of my December daily. And today I am working with the back side of this Starbucks bag, which I'm going to cover up. And then I have 3 photos of Finn and I out on the town doing a Christmas date where we went to see Santa down at the historic Tennessee Theater with some friends. And so I'm actually going to split that event into 2 days. Day 13 is going to be all about like Finn and I and being out on the town. And day 14 is going to be about seeing Santa. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have this photo of Finn and I in the historic Tennessee Theater, and I want to put it on here. But you can see that this is 6x8 and the bag for Starbucks is a bit bigger than 6x8. So I'm actually going to back the bag with a paper mat to cover up all of that stuff. And also because the bag itself is really thin, of course, because it's just for pastries. So this will actually reinforce the holes for the Starbucks bag as well, which is good because these Christmas lists in here are kind of heavy, and so it will definitely tear the bag over time. So I have this photo of Finn and I absolutely adored this photo, so much so that I wanted it to be really large. And so my 2 options were that I could make it span this whole thing, or I could make it its own little flip out, which is what I decided to do. I printed it at well, I did print this in pieces. So this middle portion is 6x8 and these 2 end portions are 3x8. So what ends up happening is it folds in together, and I did cut out with a 1.5 inch or 1.5 inch circle punch right in the middle, and I'm going to decorate in the middle here. And so closed, this is what it ends up looking like. So obviously I need something on this front cover here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to include this picture of Finn and I on this side. And then I have some journaling to include on the other side, which I printed on vellum. But obviously I can't put it right on here because then you'll see the logo and it just doesn't look amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down from the Simple Vintage Christmas and put this over it. And that gives me the foundation for this page. And then we have these photos. And since I did my journaling here, I don't need to have any room for journaling over here. So I'm just gonna decorate these photos and then I'll have this page that folds out. So I'm gonna get started on that. First thing I wanna do is I want to create my flip outs. And the way I'm gonna do this is I'm going to make it so that all of the washi tape is on the back. And then what that's going to do is when I adhere the whole thing to this green background paper, you won't be able to see the washi on the back of this photo. And then the washi will be here sandwiched in between the photo or the paper and the back of that photo. So you won't be able to see the washi tape at all, which is what I'm going for. So I need washi tape. I'm just gonna grab some that I have sitting right here. So the first thing I have to do is adhere the photos so that I can make sure that everything is covered. So I'm gonna do that with washi. So this back of this is going to adhere to the back of this, but can't really do it that way, so let's do it this way instead. Make sure that the photo lines up well enough. Gotta make sure you leave just a little space in between the 2 photos so that it can bend. There we go. Side 1. Trim off the excess tape. And then let's work on side 2. I've been using this trick a lot this year. I think that flip outs are probably my favorite trick for December daily. It's a great way to add in a little bit extra. 6x8 can be kind of limiting if you want to just stick to the pockets that are supplied to you in a 6x8 album. And so because it's kind of limiting, I always find myself sort of trying to break those rules and break the boundaries of the album itself. Okay, so there is that whole photo. And I'm going to stick this down on here. And I trimmed it down ahead of time so that it would be pretty similar to the right size. So I'll just need to trim it a little bit around the edges to make sure it's not hanging over. Excessive amount of adhesive because there's so much give on this bag. It will be easy for it to fall off. Okay, so I just need to trim down at the top, so I'm going to take out those so I don't cut them. Okay, there we go. So we can put these back in here now. Now we have the base for the photo, so we can adhere that. That will reinforce the washi tape bond on the edges as well, since it'll be glued down now. Whoa, okay. I kind of want it nice and centered, just so it has a beautiful green border around the edges. So what my thoughts were, I have this 2-inch circle that I cut out, and I kind of want to adhere it to one side so that I can use it as a flip. And I think I'm going to do it on this side so that I don't cover up the journaling when it gets laid flat. So it will cover up a little bit of that picture, but once you open it up, you won't be able to, I mean, you'll still be able to see the photo just fine. So I'm going to adhere that, putting adhesive only on half of it. And obviously there's adhesive on the center part, so I'm gonna have to put something there. And this is gonna get sandwiched. Oops, let's make sure it doesn't stick to the photo. Ah, no. Okay, make sure we don't close that first. Okay, and this is gonna get sandwiched in between the photo and this paper, so that'll reinforce that too. Let's clean that off. Okay, so what do we want to put on this side? I kind of want this 13 here, but it sort of blends in, and I kind of want it on the outside. So what if we put it here? Then it would cover up too much of that photo though. Let me put that photo down so that I don't lose sight of it. Voila. Could use a little trimming. So I'm gonna just cut out a 2-inch circle out of something else. Or let's see what else. What do I have over here? I could put a tag. No, let's just do a circle. Maybe we'll decorate with some wood veneer. Let's just do white on this side, maybe some white with some holly. try this again. This time with a little bit more intelligence in how we are sticking that down. Now we can put the paper on the top. This paper looks a little long. Yep, needs a little bit of trimming. Okay, now we have the flip done. How adorable, I love it. Now let's put down I'm gonna put all of the adhesive underneath the actual writing to help mask it a little bit so you can't see it. And I might end up trimming off the top and bottom of this vellum. Definitely going to trim it so that it matches the size. Okay, so what to do with this 13? Obviously, I don't want to cover us up too much, and I don't want to cover up the writing because that won't be fixable. What if I stuck it here? Kind of like that. That way you can still see our faces. And you can see that it's a 13 without covering up any important words. Oh, I don't know. I feel like it's covering it up wrong. But I'd really like it to be on this flip. But I'm not sure that it's gonna work. So I think I'm gonna have to give up that dream. If I had designed it a little bit differently, so that the words weren't right here, it could have worked. But also, if I use this 13 here and say I just made it work, this isn't really that sturdy, so it probably wouldn't be a great idea regardless. So we can put it in here, but I don't want to cover up any of this beautiful picture. So I think what we're gonna end up having to do is putting it over on the other side. So I love this photo, and it's so Christmassy and decorated all by itself. I don't actually feel the need to decorate it. I'm gonna put something here, and maybe I'll put something on here, but I think that's gonna be it as far as this side goes, because I really like the way that it looks, the way that it is. So I'm going to say that it is okay for me to be a little bit minimalist and let go the part of me that really wants to over embellish. Speaking of the part of me that wants to over embellish, these little hearts are kind of adorable. What if we just let this little heart speak for itself? I kind of adore that. I feel like I need something like, okay, I like that. And there's also one that says nothing, it just has a little, this one's kind of cute too. I think I like this one. Also, I can kind of tilt it a little bit, which will help mask the fact that this is off-centered, and I'm not going to be fixing it. Maybe. Actually, I might have to. It might just be part of my DNA to fix it. I want it to be equal. There we go. Okay, that's better. So let's put this here, framed right by that cutout. And I like that. And I can move on to the other side. I was gonna say what happened to my tape runner, but it's just hidden. I've been carrying around this very merry ornament. I designed it for Gossamer Blue a million years ago, and I've been carrying it around for a million years. So I'm happy to be using it. Use your stash. All right. The question is, do I want to cut these off? No, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. So now we have to find somewhere to put this 13. And that is going to be, oh, I need to cut the holes. Take these back out. That is going to be fairly easy, I think, because I can just put it right here on this photo that has a lot of white space. Not exactly what I wanted, but it will work. I don't think that I realized that the 13 was so big when I was designing that page. So the 13 can go, let's just have it hang out over the edge of the pocket protector a little bit. So I'm just gonna lightly decorate these photos. Some word strips maybe. Do we have one that says like city sidewalks? Because we were downtown. I don't see one. Oh, there it is. City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, perfect. Candy canes and silver lanes. The best time of year. Okay. Make sure we got this where we want it. That's going to go on the outside of the pocket, but I need to make sure that I don't decorate underneath it. Okay. I'm going to put this right here. Okay, city sidewalks, busy sidewalks. I'm going to actually cut this so that it is 2. That is a picture of the boys in front of the Tennessee Theater. The best time of the year. I'm gonna leave a little room for a heart. I'm gonna get out my puffy stickers. I need some puffy stickers on this page. Let's do a red heart. I love it. Okay. Candy cane's a little large, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And then let's put the little thing like he's in the middle of the sidewalk. Cute. I am not going to be too picky about this side. I kind of want, what I'm gonna do, I pulled out a bunch of embellishments. Where'd they go? Here they are. I want a little bit more than that. Okay. This one's gonna go with the Santa photo. Obviously that's day 14. I love this little Christmas tree, but I don't have anywhere to put it. Nope, nope, nope. All right, we're gonna go, because it's so photo heavy, we're just gonna go with a really light embellishment. Just call it good. Maybe, oh, what happened to, do I have those cork hearts somewhere? Where did I put them? Ah, here they are. They're a little bit large, I think, to put anywhere on here. So let's see what happens when I put the 13 down. I could put it in here and just snip off the edge of that, which I think is what I'm gonna do. I think that the 13 won't be worse for wear if I snip off the very edge of the 3. You will definitely still be able to see that it is a 13. And I kind of like the look of it kind of disappearing off the edge instead of hanging over the edge. So let's put this here, line it up with that candy canes. Oh, perfect. Love it. And it frames Finn all cutely. Is cutely a word? Maybe. Kind of like, oh, I kind of like that. And it pulls in that cork heart too. Across the page, gives it a little bit more cork. Cute. Okay, we are done with day 13. Refresher. It opens up. I love this photo. All right,